Okay, good morning, traders. Today is November 28th, 2023. My morning SPY pivot is 455.28. Above it, I'm a bull. Below it, I'm a bear. The Fab Five, they remain in daily uptrends, some with higher lows and higher highs, and some with just higher highs. The US dollar index continues to remain bearish on the daily chart, consolidating over the 103 area. USO and UNG remain in daily downtrends. USO appears to be forming a bear flag or possible short-term bottom. We're waiting for OPEC to make some decisions on production cuts. Gold and silver remain in daily bullish uptrends. Gold may be a little bit extended and may need a little bit more time to cool off. So let's go look at some charts. Good morning, Alan and Lenny. So here we are with the SPY. Okay, so yesterday's price action, it's that little tiny red doji. Didn't even move hardly anywhere. So we got a 4 doji standoff up here in the SPY, so we'll see what happens. You break out over that doji to the upside, you might want to be long, short term for the day. Break down below it, you might want to be short, longer term, looking for a pullback to the T-line, possibly the 17 EMA. All right, so we are very bullish up here, a little bit extended, but we still have some more room to move up. You can see here's the upper side of the channel over 460. I'm selling bear call credit spreads in the upper channel up here, starting with the short strike of 462 and the long strike 464. So that's what I'm doing currently on the SPY. And if we look at what's going on here, we are being held down by a monthly downtrend line. I'll back this out. We'll hit the weekly. It's going to get a little messy, but all right. So here's our weekly downtrend line. It tags our July high right there, and we go back to 2022. There's the January high right there, and you can see we connect that and that lower high made in July. And you can see here's our weekly 4-bar rally all the way up right into that weekly downtrend line. And these are my uptrend channels here, starting from, well, the October low in 22. You can see the uptrend channels here. So up in this channel up here, I'm selling the bear call credit spreads right up there. So there's SPY on the weekly chart. Again, back on the daily, we are in an uptrend. We have a high. We've made a higher high. You can see we really didn't make a higher low, unless you want to call that one red candle a higher low. It's hard to say, but there's the SPY making higher highs, so that puts it in a daily uptrend. So there's SPY. Now let's take a peek at QQQ. I'm just going to go out on a limb and say it's probably going to look the same thing, close to it. Same with FNGU. They all seem to be heavyweights in the same products. So here's QQQ. A little bit more range on QQQ, as you can see, compared to SPY. Basically, it's the same candle, just a different color. All right, so we got kind of almost a gravestone doji up there. You can see with the wick hanging off the top up there. This one was almost a gravestone doji, so we could be stepping into a cemetery up here. So we'll see what happens. There's QQQ. Daily uptrend. Again, no higher lows. All right, but we did make higher highs, so that puts it in a daily uptrend. You can see quite extended over the T-line, over the trend indicator. So price action working out really well for QQQ this week, actually the last couple of weeks. So you can see today's price action, yesterday's price action, kind of just mimicking what happened the previous 2 trading days right there. So there's QQQ, and I'll bet FNGU is going to look pretty much the same. All right, so here we are with a gravestone doji on FNGU. Almost, I mean, if that was just a little bit more flatter on the body of that, but you can see you've got more wick than body, and you can see the bodies are kind of shifting back. They're kind of declining ever so slightly. So there's FNGU with a wick, mostly all wick yesterday. In an uptrend, again, no daily pullback. So again, making higher highs. Here's the last high. There's the new high at 201, last high at 180. So you can see we are in a daily uptrend, getting a little extended. You can see it's trying to cool off here, waiting for the 17 to kind of catch up to it. Here comes the T line right up from underneath it right now. So there's FNGU, also in a daily uptrend. So tech is on fire. FNGU is mainly, mostly tech. So Snowflake, which is in the FNGU, I think it's the newest member of FNGU, is due to report today or tomorrow, one of the two. We'll find out later on when I open up the earnings calendar, but that's the newest member. And the market cap for Snowflake is, I don't know how it made the cut to go into FNGU, because I think it's only about 58 billion. That's all. You would have thought they would have picked up someone like Salesforce or somebody else, but we'll take a peek at it later on. So there's FNGU, all right, in a daily uptrend, rallying over all of this consolidation right through here. So we'll see what happens with that. There's FNGU. So Diamond Dow comes up next. So here is Diamond Dow, all right. Yesterday's price action for Diamond Dow is another doji candle, all right. So kind of pausing here, maybe a little extended. We'll see. Diamond Dow just doing wonders up here, all right. Again, rallying right over all of this consolidation. So there's Diamond Dow in an uptrend. Now you can see they've got, well, maybe a one candle low right there. So higher low, higher high, puts it in an uptrend. If not, we got the higher high anyway, so that also puts it in an uptrend. So Diamond Dow doing all the right stuff, challenging prior highs right up here. You can see Diamond Dow challenging those highs right there. IWM. Okay, now IWM still got a ways to go. Here's our pullback right there. You can see we're not nearly looking as good as the other four products that are in the Fab 5. But here's IWM, which is the Russell 2000. And you've got here a inverted head and shoulders. You got a kind of a left shoulder here and a right shoulder here and head there. And there's your neckline. We're up over the neckline and we're bull flag consolidating. You count this move up and then we're consolidating over to the right. So IWM is climbing on board here. So IWM also in an uptrend with a higher low and a higher high. So there's IWM also in an uptrend, but let's just take a peek and see where the midpoint is on this, because I would surely like to know. So you can see there's the spike of the midpoint right there. So we can see IWM is knocking on the midpoint threshold right here, just banging on the door, trying to get somebody to open it. And I'd like to see them get up over here and start consolidating, not under it, but on top of it, or blast up through it, pull back, and hold the support area, at least for 2 or 3 days up over the midpoint. So there's IWM, also in an uptrend, not quite as bullish as the other four, but still doing some of the right stuff there. We do have a downtrend here, and you can see they pretty much broke that downtrend right there. So they're just trying to hold above the rubber band effect of that spike right there. So there's IWM. SMH. These are our semiconductors. Semiconductors. Here's the consolidation block right there. Breaking out of the consolidation block and testing the highs. This would be the minor support, is this area right here. That would be right on top of those. That's minor support. Anytime you see peaks or wicks up there, that will be our minor support. So say pull back to the minor support in SMH. Hopefully they can get that to hold or just start consolidating before start making another move up higher. So SMH ripping from the bottom to the top and over the top, trying to hold up here on minor support. So we'll see what happens. It would have been much nicer had they hit it a little slower and then kind of grind up through it. But they hit it kind of fast, so it's probably going to take them a while to consolidate and hold this area. So there's SMH. Now let's take a look at IYT. Here's our transports. So SMH was making all-time highs there. We'll go back to SMH just for a second. All right, so here's SMH. You can see a big wick candle. Yesterday makes a lower low and a higher high. Mostly all wick yesterday. Consolidating for the past 4 or 5 days. Actually, if you take it from here, it's been consolidating for 7 days now. So SMH still doing the right stuff, pulling back to you can see right there, we tapped the T line and got a little juice from the T line, and they went up and retreated quite quickly. So there's SMH. All right, let's go back to the transports. Sorry about that. All right, so transports, yesterday's price action was a lower high and a lower low. On the daily candle, we have a no higher low, but we do have a higher high. So here's IYT in a bullish uptrend right there, kind of breaking the downtrend line right through here. So slap a line right through there, and you can see there's us breaking the downtrend line coming all the way up here. So I'd like to see where that is in relation to the midpoint. And let's put that in there. You can see now IYT looking a little bit stronger than Russell 2000 IWM coming up through the midpoint. And now I'd like to see it consolidate kind of in a box up here, and then eventually wait for some moving average to come along and give it a little kick from behind, start moving up higher from there. So I'd like to see this hold, but we'll see what happens. Only the future will tell. It kind of got up there kind of fast. We'll see what happens, see if they can hold it up here. Okay, so there's IYT, also in a daily uptrend. All right, let's take a look at XLF. These are our financials. Okay, you can see that had a nice rip, consolidate, and another rip. So you can see it's trying to deal with prior highs over here. So I like to see this kind of pull back to the 17 EMA, our trend indicator, and then possibly just J hook, form a little cup and handle right in through here, and then finally climb over this $35 area right there. So here's the prior highs, and you can see here's an attack on those prior highs right there. And nice move up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11 green candles in a row. Wow. That's a prime number. And the last candle is a doji candle, so we'll see what happens. So up over that doji, I'm bullish in a day trading term. If it's underneath this, I'm bearish. And that would be for a swing back to the T line, the trend indicator back here. So there's XLF doing a lot of the right stuff in a daily uptrend. Again, no real higher lows, but definitely got a higher high there. So XLF is looking good. Now let's take a look at some precious metals. GLD. So there's gold. All right, gold making a higher low and a higher high. right up there. You can see yesterday's price action for gold, mostly tail. Well, maybe equal parts tail, equal parts body, but still a higher low and a higher high. Gold's in an uptrend, getting kind of frothy up here. Like to see it consolidate for another couple weeks and then make another run up there. So there's gold. Here's prior highs over here. You can see we're not too far off there. Remember, NVIDIA was up there ready to attack their highs at one time, and they had to, I think they pulled back $150 and then took another run at it just recently. And they made it through to their target, which was, I think, over 500. That was their goal right there. But see, so here's gold. It's in an uptrend, up over all of this consolidation right through here. So that's nice. You can see they hit the minor support. That would be these peaks right here, right here. You can see where price action hit those peaks kind of in the same latitude right there and then bounced up higher. So there's gold. And let's take a look at silver. Silver's doing some really good stuff here. So here's silver, but red candle, but let me just say, this thing gaps up higher, got a higher low, now a higher high. Silver's in a daily uptrend, but still in that consolidation channel right through here. Whether it can get through that remains to be seen. But silver's doing all the right stuff. Higher low, higher high. So imagine if the dollar keeps falling, gold and silver are going to start popping and jumping. We'll see what happens. But there's silver doing the right stuff. Higher low, higher high on the daily chart. All right, so now let's take a look at USO. All right, so here's USO. This is our crude oil. All right, so we got up here, we got a lower high, and we got lower lows, and a lower high, and a lower low. And you can see we're just consolidating right over the $70 level, all right? So we're waiting for OPEC to come out with some numbers, whether they're going to increase production or do cuts. If they do cuts, I imagine USO will rally back up. If they continue with current productions, I can see this probably falling down to 60, 65 to 60 area. If they continue with the current production levels that they have, because that'll just bring up more supply than demand, and that'll cause price to to pull back. So there's USO. Let's take a look at UNG. UNG is not looking good at all. Chart's a little slow this morning, aren't they? Wow. All right, so here's UNG. Lower high, lower low, another lower high, and yet again another lower low. Daily candle, lower high and lower low, mostly all tail. People are obviously looking at this as some value down here at 560, 570 area. So let's watch this to see if it forms a possible bear flag, maybe a rounded bottom, but there's UNG. All right, so there's UNG pulling down. You got buffering issues. I can restart it if that would help. Is everyone else hearing the same buffering issues? Or is it just Rob? You got it, you got it, you got buffering issues too. All right, let's pause. All right, so here we are with UNG. All right. We got lower highs and a lower low, a lower high and a lower low. Yesterday's price action mostly all tail down here. Okay, and then we've got, so there could be some interest in a possible bottom. So let's look for this to bear flag or rounded bottom down here at the bottom here. for UNG, yesterday's price action, lower high and lower low. All right, so there's the metals, the energy. We did the tech. We did the financials. Took a peek at the transports. Let's go take a look at the U.S. dollar. All right, here's the U.S. dollar. All right, you can see it kind of hovering right over here. A little bit of consolidation over the 103 level. It's in a downtrend. This is a daily chart. You've got lower highs and lower lows. And then you got another lower high, no lower low yet. It's just kind of hovering right here at the 103 level, right on some minor support. If you look over to the left, you've got some minor support right there. Below that minor support, looks like it's coming down to 102, right down there. And then below that, well, all the way back down to 99. All right, so if we break through this, coming down to 102. So there's dollar index in a downtrend. All right, so now let's take a look at our economic calendar. So yesterday, this is a really light week as far as economic news. So yesterday we had new home sales. They weren't too good. Dallas Fed manufacturing at 10:30 yesterday. Didn't seem to move the markets any which way. Consumer confidence at 10 a.m. So maybe we're going to look at some Cyber Monday and Black Friday sales. We'll see what happens. So at 10 a.m. we could see a spike or a dip. We'll see what happens. FHFA, House Price Index, that's going to come out. If we didn't get enough with the new home sales yesterday, we're going to have House Price Index come out at 9. Case-Shiller Home Price Index. So we're going to get a double dose of housing right here. So they really want you to look at the home builders today and yesterday. Richmond Fed Manufacturing Index at 10 a.m. And no Fed speakers. So there you go. So the highlight, the main event this week is GDP. That's 8:30 tomorrow. International trade goods, well, kind of goes hand in hand with GDP, 8:30 as well. And then wholesale inventories, 8:30 as well. Retail inventories, 8:30 as well. And corporate profits, 8:30 as well. So they're going to tell you how they did for if they were able to move their inventory. And that's what we like to do here, is move the inventory. All right. They're going to tell us if they moved any inventory and how much they got to get rid of, because they're last year's products. And what do we got? Beige Book at 2. That can sometimes tweak the markets a little bit. But the main event is GDP. That's gross domestic product. If you don't know what GDP is, that's how much money the United States takes in from selling goods and services to foreign countries. Okay, so when we sell goods and services to foreign countries, we bring GDP, that brings in a income back to the United States. I think we have a surplus. If we look at imports and exports, I think we import far more than we export. I'm pretty sure we do. I'm not positive though. But for GDP, we like to have up over 3.5 is really good. 4 is awesome. I think last GDP was really good for last month. So we're looking for some good numbers again. We'll see what happens. So we got the OPEC meeting. So we might not get on Thursday. I guess they're going to talk. And we'll see what happens on that. That's Thursday. The main event's tomorrow, GDP. Then comes energy on Thursday. And then we start looking at jobless claims and such. All right. So for the earnings calendar, we're going to look for Snowflake. All right. So what do we got today? We got BHP. I thought it was like BHP Billiton. I don't know if they spun that off. BHP, $314 billion. Don't know when they're going to report. So Intuit, that's TurboTax, QuickBooks, Quicken, $158 billion. PDD Holdings, all right, 156 billion. They're going to report this morning. Intuit reports tonight. Workday, 61 billion. And CrowdStrike is going to report 50 billion. Again, Rob? This evening. So, Rob, can you guys hear me, or is it just Rob this time, or is it me again? It's happening again? Again. All right. Oh, I'm fine. You're good. Not as bad. Loud and clear. All right, Rob. You know, we both might have problems, okay? And between my problem and your problem, it's being exacerbated by between the two of us here. So I'll try it again. I'm just going to finish this up, and I'll have a recording, and you can watch the recording. All right, Rob? So you'll have that to look at. I'm going to do a fast. Wow, you're smoking. Okay, so it's obviously me. All right. So let me just finish this up, and then you can watch the recording. Wednesday, who do we got? We got Salesforce. So yesterday we had CrowdStrike. Today we got CrowdStrike. Tomorrow we get the big cat. Salesforce going to report in the evening. Synopsys, they're going to report in the evening. And then comes Snowflake, 56 billion. They're going to report in the evening as well. So a whole lot of evenings. Dollar Tree reports in the morning. Okay, so those are the headliners for tomorrow. All right, so that's it. Right now, traders, I'll talk to the rest of you in the room. Put in your questions, and we'll try to get those answered for you.